look at the Indus Valley civilization, you'll find that it has a lot of pages, and most of them are a part of this very subject. And the questions asked from here is more strange, because they wouldn't ask you about the introduction or characteristics, and even if they do, that might just be one option. But most of the time what's asked are the sites, where all are these found, and every one small little site is also very important in this. However, apart from that, if you look at the characteristics, it's town planning and structure, where they again are talking of the sites. All of it, any characteristic that they are talking of, the only proof is the site. So accordingly, if you see, after the town planning and the structure, they have the agriculture, they have domestication of animals. Again, when we talk about domestication of animals, the only proof that they are giving is what all cattle are there, where were they found, and everything. So if you go according to this book about their technology and crafts, about their political organization, about their religious practices, and about their male deity whom they prayed to, and about their tree and animal worship, about the Harappan script and everything, weights and measures, Harappan pottery, images, seals, you have your terracotta figurines, you have origin, maturity and end, and that is like the end of the Harappa, and then it's just one small portion called post-urban phase of the Harappan culture. So before that, if you look at anything that's there, you'll find everything is explained via sites. So this book, what they have categorized is, they have categorized it as point is there, and accordingly what all sites are the relevance for this point. Again another point, then what are the sites are relevant in this point. But how are we going to study it? We are going to see one site and what all points are there inside. Another site, what all points are there inside. So guys, most recognized sites are, you can talk of Harappa, you can talk of Mohenjo-daro, all the main sites that they are talking of, and accordingly what all are we to study from there. You can talk of Lothal, you might have heard about Chanudharo, you might have heard of Surkotda, there's Kalibangan, there's Ropar, there is Rangpur, there is Banwali, there is Alamgirpur, there is Kotdiji. These are all very small portions that you will come across, and accordingly you will find what all things are there and what all are we talking of. So these become important in the sense that there are some relevance of only these sites for some things. Amrai, you have Dholavira, you have Rakhi Garhi, and you have Sukta Gindor. These are some sites that I could come across that UPSC might have just asked, and how we are to find out, and everything is from here. See, Sukta Gindor is from Sindh. Okay, I mean is in Sindh. So in Sindh, and since it's in Sindh, what we can take from here is it's near the coast. So it had a beautiful coastal development. So Sukta Gindor was about that, and definitely if you have a coastal development, civilization has to occur in front of this, nearby this. So it was known for civilization, for settlement and everything. So Sukta Gindor was in Sindh, near the coast, so known for coastal development, and that is why cultivation and civilization was the best here. Then we have Rakhi Garhi. Rakhi Garhi is found in Haryana. See, Rakhi Garhi. If you look at it, you can take it like some festival that's celebrated in Haryana, because Rakhi is something that's celebrated all over India. So Haryana, and it's near river Saraswati. Near Saraswati. So Saraswati celebrating Rakhi at her place in Haryana. You can just link it that way, or I don't know what. And this is known for ceramic industry that it had, and this is the proof that no industries were prevailing during the Harappan site. Okay, so ceramic industry, which is represented by red wear tights. So Rakhi was celebrated in Haryana, and the gift was the ceramic industry that was given to Saraswati. Let's take it that way. So we are done with Rakhi Gari. Then comes Dhola Veera. Whenever I hear of Dhola or something like that, it reminds me of Chota Bheem and Dholakpur. So if you want, you can take yourself that way, because Dhola Veera is again a village kind of place, which was in Kutch, the Ran of Kutch in Gujarat, that's there. And it is known for, you know, the fresh water and fertile soil. So right now Kutch is a desert, but at that point of time it was known for fresh water, for fertile soil, and it is considered one of the largest settlements of the Harappan age. Okay, so this was one, and the other is the Rakhi Gari. These two were the largest settlements because people settled here more, and it was divided into three principal divisions. So Kutch 2 you can take as very strongly built for the freshwater fertile soils, and the third division also was there. And scripts that were found from Dhola Veera are huge. So you can know that yes, people were educated, people wrote scripts, people had their own language, they discussed through that. Then we come to Amrai, which I think you might be aware of the hospital that's there, and which was in news for a long period of time. Because of the accidents that had happened there. So this AMRI contains the remains of rhinoceros, and that is why it's known. It contains rhinoceros, and that is why, the remains of rhinoceros. So here you get about the fire altars also, and that is a proof that yes, Harappan people knew about fires and how to use them as bonfires or other uses. So this was about Amrai. So we came to Sukta Gendor. Sukta Gendor was in Sindh. It was in Sindh, so coastal development the best, and the civilization definitely. Then we had Rakhi Ghari. So this was about near in river Saraswati, near the river Saraswati in Haryana. And Rakhi Garhi, another thing is that it had ceramic industry in it, and Dhola Veera was one of the two largest Harappan settlements, and Rakhi Ghari being the first one. And this was known for the divisions, for their fortification, and also for their characters of the script that were found in Dhola Veera. So Dhola Veera is known for that, and it is in Kutch. And Amrai is about the rhinoceros, that is, they also believed in fossils and everything. When we come to Banwali, you will find that here the chessboard town planning, the grid pattern planning was not followed. The drainage system was not followed. The roads cut at right angles or straight roads were not followed. But barley have been found here. So barley in one of the crops have been found here. Then they also have the ceramics, steatite, and other seals that are renowned in the Indus Valley civilization, which is found in Banwali. Then when we look at Rangpur, you will find that this is near river Bhadar, which is like near to Lothal. Lothal is another our site that we read of. So this is basically in Ahmedabad district, Gujarat. What another site was in Gujarat, if you know, comment it down, or yeah, we've already done it the video, so I'm not going to revise it again. So location is here, and evidence from what we get from Rangpur is rice husk. So barley is one agriculture, rice husk is another thing that we know about agriculture from here. Then when we look at Alamgirpur guys, we came across Alamgirpur and we wrote it down here. So it is the eastern boundary of the Harappan culture. So basically when we ask about from where it extended to where, the eastern boundary ended at Alamgirpur, and this is also remarkable because it provided the impression over the cloth of a cloth over a trough. Then we come to Ropar. Ropar, where did we write? Yes, Ropar. So Ropar is near river Satluj. So again, now it's in Pakistan, but initially it was in India, so that's there. And here what do we have? We have the pre-Harappan cultures, we have the post-Harappan cultures also. Buildings were made out of stones. Buildings of stones. We have domestic dogs here. We have pottery, ornaments, copper axes. We have chert plates, terracotta plates. Basically, ropar. You know, rope. So, what are the uses of rope? Rope can be used when you have proper tools to mend something. So, when you think of ropar, you have to think of all the good technology, or at that point of time, that level of technology that they could have. So from here you can think about the buildings that were made of stone, you can think about pottery, ornaments, all of the things why ropar could be used. Copper axes, chert blades, terracotta blades, rectangular mud brick chamber, and this rope or ropar Satlaj, this was also known for burying of the dogs along with the humans, and steatite steel was also here. So ropar is the proof of yes, the domestication of animals was there, and yes, dogs were buried in the Harappan culture. Then when we look at Kalibangan, it is near river Ghaggar, which is in Rajasthan. And evidences can be seen. Kalibangan is known for black bangles. If you know Hindi, you will know that yes, Bangan is bangles and Kali is black. So black bangles were found here. Wooden furrow was found here. Fire altars were here. Which another place had fire altars? We already discussed about it. Comment down again and you know the answer, and I'll know that yes, you are studying really sincerely with me here. And bones of camels were found here, and two types of burial were followed. Circular grave and rectangular grave, and decorated bricks were here, and bronze bull is the most recognized thing here. Then when we come to Surkotda, see Surkotda, when you look at it, it sounds like the driest thing or things like that, because it's like sukha, very very dry and everything. So this place had no rivers in it, and since it had no rivers, this was the driest place there. So you will find bones of horses here, or cemetery with pot burials, and grave with association with big rocks. And also this has the rare finding of the Harappan culture, because that grave is not found anywhere else. So this is the place with no river, and thus it is in northwest of Bhuj, which is now in Gujarat, which was initially also in Gujarat also, you can say. So this was about Surkotda. So we've already covered out our Sukta Gendor, our Rakhi Garhi, our Kot Diji. No, we haven't covered Kot Diji yet. We've covered AMRI, we've covered Dholavira, we've covered Banwali, we've covered Ropar, we've covered Rangpur, and we've also covered Kot Diji. Kot Diji was what? It is known as a pre-Harappan site, and houses are made of stone, and excavations suggest that this city was destructed by force, like there were conquerings and everything like that. So this place is something which you can say about conquering and everything, because other than this place, no other place have been thought about that fights have been there or this have been taken away by force. So Kot Diji is known for that. And for our Rangpur thing, we've already covered that it was in near Bhadar. River is Bhadar, which is there, and this is like Lothal that we've seen. Lothal we'll be seeing, that is near this. And evidence is the rice husk here. So we've already covered Rangpur, we've covered Ropar, remember the rope thing. Kalibangan, black bangles already done. Surkotda we've just done. Then we next come to Chanudaro. Chanudaro is near Indus. Alright, so these four are the main sites, because Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, again when we say Harappan civilization, it is not the name of the civilization, it's like the main things were, the sites were this. So from here the name came Harappan civilization or the Indus Valley civilization. Why? Because all the things, all the places that you are finding here is somewhere near the Indus Valley and are associated with that. So Harappan or the Indus Valley civilization, that is how it has been named. So now when we look at Chanudaro, you will find it is in river Indus, and the location is Sindh, Pakistan. Just like Sukta Gendor, we had the location as Sindh, Pakistan. It was the coastal settlement was it's known for. and civilization was something that Sukta Gindor had seen. Again, Chanudharo in Sindh, which is now in Pakistan, Indus. And evidences from here are, see, the first thing is bronze figures. Evidences of all these 4 places are important because all these 4 places have beautiful evidences that we need to look at and see how it proceeds. So we have bronze figures of bullock carts and ekkasar. Ekkasar, note down this word because these are things that UPSC might just ask. Ekkasar is what? Ekkasar is the vehicle that was known at that point of time which was made for transportation. So UPSC might just ask what do you mean by Ekkasar and might give you 4 options. Or it might not just ask about what is Ekkasar, it might just mention it in the sites that yes, this was found from this site, and you might just get confused. So Ekkasar is vehicle made of transportation, for transportation basically. Also, in Chanudharo, lipsticks were found proving that yes, people did use makeup at that point of time, and a small pot is there that suggests that yes, inkwell was there. People knew how to use ink and the feather thing that they could have to make them good for sure thing about writing and everything. And footprints of an elephant and a dog chasing a cat. So this is basically that yes, jungles existed, forests existed, and animals did exist, and the cycle kept along. Lothal is in river Bhogwa, which is a tributary of Sabarmati. And from our modern India, we can know, for people who do not know where Sabarmati from the modern India, you might just know that yes, it was Sabarmati ashram from where things for Gandhi started. So this was there, and this is 80 kilometers south of Ahmedabad. So it's in Gujarat. Again, what all are the evidences found here? Rice husk. So this is the third comment that I should be getting from each individual about from where was the another rice husk found. We've just revised it. So rice husk was there. An artificial dockyard. Lothal, an artificial dockyard. See, if a dockyard is there, that means that this place had a coastal sideline, right? So according to Lothal, if that had a dockyard which was well established for people to come and the trade to flow, so that means the coast thing was already there. So like Sukta Gindor for the coast thing, Lothal was also having a very good coastline. And it also was given the game similar to modern day chess, and evidences of a horse from a doubtful terracotta figuring, and evidences of direct trade contact with Mesopotamia. So for trade, what was the best one, or Mesopotamia, Iran and every there. So all of these can be found from Lothal. And a ship designed on a seal, that means that yes, people did use seal, and also ship designed of a sea. A terracotta ship was there, and a painting on a jar resembling the story of cunning fox narrated in the Panchatantra. So people do use that also. And an instrument that measures the angles. So basically they knew how to construct and everything, and that made their building and all made easier. And then evidences of double burial and other things. So how can you remember this? How can you remember all these points? Because see, Lothal, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Chanudharo have major sites that are to be seen and known. So see, Lothal, the first thing that we heard about was Lothal, if we talk of, the first thing that we heard about was rice husk, right? So rice husk is what? Food. So rice husk, we've known about this, right? Next is, see, it also had elaborate storehouses. So where would the rice be stored? In storehouses. So when we look at food, we had rice husk. From there we come to that yes, it had storehouses. From here, what do you want? To eat together. You do not have television, you do not have phone right here. So what can you do? You can have games. So games similar to chess. So that was there. And then the fourth thing is, if apart from games, if you have people who do not know how to play a game, you will talk, you will, narrate your incidents or stories. So there was a painting on a jar that resembled the story of the cunning fox narrated in the Panchatantra. So the stories were there, and from there we get the painting. Then the fifth point, the fifth side that you can learn of is that there was a building which was a workshop for all forms of beads. See, if you are eating, if you are playing, you need to work also, right? So that was workshop of all forms of beads. So the building was there which had these workshops, and people did come here to learn and everything. So when beads are here, what thing is getting very clear? That yes, trade is beneficial. So the sixth thing that you can have is that evidences of horse from a doubtful terracotta figuring. So what does that mean? That yes, horses were used for trading. So evidences of horse from the terracotta figuring. So there were puppets, or you might say the toys of horses that were resembled. So that was there. Seventh that you can mug up with this is the artificial dockyard, because they can only come up to the land thing. From there, water had to transport the other parts to Mesopotamia and everything. So artificial dockyard was there. So this helped in the trade. Eighth point that you can come up to is from how do they measure where do have to go and where do they have to see and everything. So the modern day compass, like that, there was an instrument that measured the 180 degree, 90 degree and 45 degree every angles and everything. So that instrument was there. Ninth side that you can mug up is the terracotta ship, because or else how would they go? So terracotta ship is there. And the 10th thing that you can remember is the trade relations. Why was that ship going? Because of the trade relations in Mesopotamia. So we have rice husk, we have the storehouses, we have the game similar to chess, we have evidences of painting of the story of a horse narrating like we have it in Panchatantra. We had a workshop that trained people for beads and everything. We had a terracotta figurine of horse. We had a artificial dockyard evidence. We have instruments measuring 180 degree, 90 degree and 45 degree angles. We have terracotta ship, and we have the evidences of trade relations with Mesopotamia. This is all about Lothal, and see, this is so easy. Why I do not go for the short forms or tricks, like people do make short forms or tricks like R, S, G, P, W, and then they make out a story of Rao and Bhaji and I don't know what. But the problem with me at that point is that if I do not remember this, I have to remember the short form then. And remembering every site's short form or remembering just history is what? Just one small portion of the vast ocean, right? And from there, again, this has subdivisions, and this one small point is one small portion of this vast ocean again. So just remember, in this vast ocean, what importance this thing will keep. However, this will only become important if this is picked up and then put it in the question paper of this vast ocean. Then this becomes important, right? So, but right now when you're practicing, when you're remembering, because you have to remember all of these, the question paper will decide what all were important from this, right? So, if you remember it this way, even if you forget one thing, you will remember another thing, because food, games and work, it is all divided into this, and I'm pretty sure you will remember this, because if I do, you will, because my memory is none more advanced or better than yours. So we both have the same thing. Then we move to the Mohenjo-daro and Harappa that we had. See, Mohenjo-daro again in river Indus, and location is Larkhana district of Sindh. So again in Sindh, Pakistan. And Harappa is river Ravi, which was at that point of time known as Parushani. Okay, location is Montgomery district of Punjab, which is again in Pakistan right now. So Mohenjo-daro, it also had evidences, very, very big evidences, and Harappa also had evidences. So let's see to what all evidences they had, and accordingly we'll suffice what all things we need to do. I'll try putting it up here so that it's clear to you guys. If you want, I have it all written down very clearly. If you want, again, the same thing settles just like we had it the other time. You need to comment or DM about that, yes, you would want the notes, or you would definitely read about them and know about them, right? So from here we look to in Mohenjo-daro. When you look at Mohenjo-daro, you will find the evidences are the actual walls or pieces of stone, of cloth, copper, objects and everything like that. But we'll go again by the starting point. See, Mohenjo-daro, the first thing that you look at is the dancing girl, and if you look anywhere, know about Mohenjo-daro anywhere, you'll find dancing girl has been the main thing which was there in Mohenjo-daro. So a bronze dancing girl, and that shows the status of the dancing girls, and that also shows that yes, these dancing girls had very good status in the society. From here, what you get is a bearded man. Why? Because another thing, only a girl can't dance and keep dancing. You need audience, or you need other people to support this person to dance. So a bearded man to suffice this chronology. Okay, a bearded man is done, and then when you look at Mohenjo-daro is also known for a great bath, right? So a great bath is required to perform well, to stay freshened up and everything like that. Then you will find, see, where a man and a woman is there, apart from whatever you are thinking right now, one thing that is evident is death, because yes, fights and everything is there. So violent death, evidences of violent death is there of some of the inhabitants. Then when you look at, you will find that there is superficial evidence of horses. So this is something very similar to our Lothal, and horses have to be there because that would just make them carry and everything like that. To what? Horses to a college. College is not our college thing where we just time pass and study also, definitely. But not that, but a multi-pillared assembly hall. That was what the college was known about. So you do need a horse to reach there, to the college, to get all the dancing and everything done. So after college, what you can have is a large granary, because yes, when people do get invited, they also need to have the food and every other presentation. From here, you also have a seal representing Mother Goddess. That shows how much respect a women had when they lived in this era. And then the last thing I would say that you had is a seal with a picture suggesting Pashupati Mahadev again. So there were two seals here which suggested the Pashupati Mahadev and everything like that. Also in Lothal also, if you'll see, there was a seal which had the design of the terracotta ship, because for Lothal the importance was trade. For Mohenjo-daro, the importance is about the civilization, how people are getting well and everything about that. So Mohenjo-daro is what? A dancing girl, a bearded man, a great bath, violent death, a horse, the figurine of a horse, evidences of horse is there. A college is there, and this college is what? Is a pillared assembly hall. Also we have the granary, we have two seals, seal of Mother Goddess and seal of Pashupati Mahadev. So that is it with the sites and what all excavations have been there. And see, you complete Mohenjo-daro in this small thing. Had it not been this, see how much time it had taken for you. Now when you finally look at Harappa, we will again do it in the same very way we did Mohenjo-daro or Lothal or Chanudaro, and accordingly we'll proceed. See, first thing that you can find here is a red sandstone male torso. So a red sandstone male torso that is there. So the first thing, the first evidence that's here is the red sandstone male torso, right? So the second thing that you will find is definitely just like in Mohenjo-daro, the first we read about the female, so we looked for the male person also to complete the civilization thing. So accordingly here the red sandstone male torso was here. So that way we have the stone symbols of female genitals. So that's a practice that yes, they were respected and everything. You can just show that yes, females were a thing then. It wasn't what happened in the 18th century and later decades, but it was a thing then. So stone symbols of female genitals was there. And the third thing is definitely now females and males also wore that. So gold bracelet. So gold was used, first thing. Second thing that was there is that civilization used to they decorated themselves. They did not just live like anything. They lived well maintained and everything. Fourth thing is copper chariot. See, these both getting ready together, then going in this wearing bracelets and everything, and then having going in a copper chariot. So a copper chariot was there. Then we have Where are they going to? They are going to 2 rows of granaries with 6 platforms. So 2 rows of 6 granaries. So 2 rows, 1, 2, 3, 6 granaries, and 6 platforms were separately there. So the red sandstone male torso, the stone symbol of the female genital with gold, wearing a gold bracelet in copper chariot, going to the 2 rows with 6 granaries and 6 raised platform. And then we have, this was our 6th. Then when you look at that they've reached here, you'll find that why are they here? For direct trade relations with Mesopotamia. So evidences of this trade is there. When you have trade, that means what? That you'll have to have seals that you secure your work with, and you let people know that this product belongs to this place. So the seals were there, evidences have been there of all the writing materials and everything. After that, these two are humans after all, so evidence of coffin burials is there. So coffin burials, and then you have also symmetry along with that. So if burials have to be there, there has to be symmetry. So symmetry is also there, and that's it. Red sandstone male torso, stone symbols of female genitals, gold bracelet, copper chariot, 2 rows of 6 granaries and 6 raised platforms, direct trade relations with Mesopotamia, seals. Then you have evidences of coffin burials and also of the 37 symmetry that was there. Also, one last thing, guys, Mohenjo-daro is also known as Mount of Dead, because we've already seen that, yes, there were evidence of violent death which was there of some of the inhabitants, and that is why it's also called Mount of Death. I don't know if you've watched the movie Mohenjo-daro. I haven't, so I really cannot relate it to that way. But this was the small gist of whatever we wanted to read, guys, from Indus Valley Civilization, and that's it. That's it from this video, and that's enough to know from the Indus Valley Civilization, because whatever you'll be reading here, everything, you will find that we've already covered all of that. But still, if you do not get convinced, you want to go through this, you can, because UPSC is not about that if you've done this chapter, this very chapter and everything, you are secured from Harappan questions. So just make sure that you do not wait this much of time, that you do not have any other option but to just let go of the questions from here. So just make sure that whatever is left or whatever you've covered, that's enough for you, and you solve more of questions and not keep learning and mugging this up. You will never be convinced. It's like life. You have this, then you want this. You have this, then you want this. You have this, then you want this. So the same as with UPSC. If you have Harappan culture and if you are going through this topic, you might just find another topic here which you think, oh, this is Harappa, this might be important, and then you go and keep going. So you will never be convinced. So instead of that, just have a practical mindset. Just be aware of whatever you are reading and just be aware of what and how to proceed with things, and keep solving mocks, guys. We'll definitely come up with new mocks. I'm just completing these portions in a very easy way so that we can depend ourselves more on mocks than just on these. So this is with Harappan culture, and we meet next with our Rig Vedas and the Yajur Vedas, and I think this Rig Vedas would have been the easier part of the Indus Valley Civilization. So they'll be easier than this, and I hopefully it will take lesser time than what Indus Valley took. So this is it with this video. Do like it, do comment down if you have any doubts in all the 3 comments that I've asked for. Please make sure that you do it, and also keep studying, keep revising, and any doubts in anything, you can contact me over Instagram or Telegram, and you can just let go of things. You can check out the links in the description, and if you haven't subscribed it yet, please do. We really come up with good, genuine content, and I do not waste time on intros and outros, and that's the best part of my videos that I feel, because I hate forwarding an introduction when I'm relaxed or in a very energetic mood to study, and I miss it out on that. So that's it with today's video, guys. Thank you so much.